What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati, and as always, I am joined by the podcast dad, Choops. How we doing, man?
Good, man. You look comfy.
I'm really, really cozy right now.
Tell.
It's getting colder out. I gotta rock the sweatshirt. Got some nice sweats on. It's a vibe today.
It was 62 degrees outside today.
Yeah, well, it wasn't all of that warm when I went to the gym this morning. So
it's not cold. It's not cold.
Well,
buddy.
It was chillier when I went to the fucking gym this morning. Okay, how about that?
Well, that tells you how much you got out of the house today.
All right, well, you woke up and chose violence today. Go fuck yourself. But thank you to everybody that's watching tonight. As always, make sure you're following us at Junkies Pod for all things Wrestling Junkies Podcast. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. But more importantly, before you put that fucking chain around your neck, please. I heard it in the background. Don't you dare act like it wasn't. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We need your help to get there. We have 376 right now. Our goal is to get to 400 by the end of the month. So despite the fact that I do kind of want to just, kick you right now, would you do our friends a favor? Tell them the magic number.
One. Just tell one person. I threw it out there on the X the other day, and I never tweet or twit.
He does not.
X. Guys, just tell one person. One person. Just tell one person out there if you like what we're doing, if you're having fun with us. Even if you don't like us, tell one person, like, hey, these guys suck. Let them go check it out and see it and make an opinion for themselves.
Hey, somebody popped into the main event mixer this past Saturday just to give us shit for talking shit about AEW, even though this person definitely didn't watch the entire episode and how we were talking about how we're enjoying what's going on in AEW right now, even though there's some things that can be improved. But even he had the chance to come in and see what it is that we're doing. While you're at it, go check out our friends at the Main Event Network at mainevent_net on all social media platforms, including YouTube. We do have one more main event mixer in the books this past Saturday, another one this Saturday with the podcast dad coming in along with Tim Vicious, the Great Brown Hope, and I believe Mr. OTM is going to be appearing on this one, if I am not mistaken.
Saturday or Sunday?
Is it Sunday? Okay,
Sunday.
It's Sunday. Excuse me. Yeah, it's
there.
It's out there. That's fair. You going to the UC game Saturday?
No. We'll talk offline because I don't want to get in trouble. But somebody will not be watching Survivor Series live. So.
Okay. That's
unfortunate. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Let's move on.
Can we just end the episode now so I can get the tea? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. But podcast that pointed out my sweatshirt at the beginning of the show, as well as that handsome support independent wrestling t-shirt, do us a favor, go stop by our merch store. If you need a hoodie, beanies, mugs, tank tops, you name it, we have it. Make sure to support our store. That is how we are able to reinvest in the world of independent professional wrestling. So do us a favor, check out our store and support our friends at Gorilla Press Apparel. GorillaPressApparel.BigCartel.com. Use promo code WJP2024 for 25% off site-wide. If you're a wrestler, referee, manager, promoter, you need some merch for those tables. They do also take commissions. DM Will at Gorilla Press APP on X. There's been it's a pretty wild weekend, not just WWE or AEW, but TWE's latest event is in the books, and there is a new Action World Champion. Congratulations to Tim Bosby for walking out with the title, defeating Warhorse. Still cannot believe it. Talking to Tim now about hopefully getting him on the show in the next couple of weeks to talk about this win. He will also be competing for Memphis Wrestling in the near future against Jonathan Gresham. So, telling you. Sky's the limit for this kid, and we said it the second that we got a chance to meet him.
It's a name to watch, guys. He's a stud. It's a name to keep an eye on. We're to keep seeing all these WWID names pop up. I would not be shocked if in a couple months we see his name pop up.
Not at all. And coming up this Wednesday, there's a way to kind of ring in Thanksgiving, Coastal on Fire Wrestling. We are going to be doing our entire shows on Wednesday is going to be all about Coastal Empire Wrestling. We're going to be breaking down the Still Standing event. And now Last Man Standing coming up this weekend. Alex Kane is going to be in action. So tune in for a live recap of last month's event and a preview of this weekend's event, I should say. And if Hakeem Young has the balls to show up in the chats, then who knows? Maybe we'll let him on the stream. I know it doesn't.
He doesn't.
Want to throw it out there.
It's Thanksgiving. He's probably eating.
I mean, so am I, but I would still find 5 seconds to show why I as good as I say that I am. All right, before he does that, thank you all so much. It has been an incredibly busy weekend here, and I'm just gonna sit here and keep talking to you as he adjusts that chain and wants to just act like grand. Okay, you know what?
So, how was your Sunday? Mine was great.
You know what?
Happy Victory Monday.
You know what? I'm going to be nice just because I really want to hear why you can't watch Survivor Series live after the show here. So I'm not going to antagonize you anymore. You ready to talk about this past weekend of shows that we saw?
Let's do it.
I love it. Let's start with SmackDown. We're going to keep it brief on WWE here. We're going to make this more about Full Gear since that's what some people think that we should be doing. Two big stories that come out of SmackDown last week. First and foremost, Jade Cargill attacked during Bianca Belair's Women's United States Championship qualifying match. It looks like she was pushed onto a car, got banged up pretty badly, and she's out indefinitely. We didn't hear a whole lot about this, in the hours after seeing this on TV, but it does sound like there might be a legitimate Jade Cargill injury. We still don't know very many details about that, if it is indeed legit or not. But your thoughts just overall on this angle?
I think it's legit. I don't think they would take her out of this match. She brings a certain star power to War Games. So I would say I would think it's legit. I don't see a logical reason why you would take her out unless, it's whoever's returning, which I think we both know who it is, or is going to take that spot, is the person to do it, which I don't know, but I just don't.
So I did.
Go ahead.
I did accidentally see a spoiler for who it is. It is not anybody that's returning.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's anything. I think she's probably legitimately banged up, and that's fine. Hey, this War Games has been a little snake bitten, but. They got 1 week to get her keep everybody healthy and continue to march on to this. But again, I don't see a logical reason why you would, storyline wise, not have her in the match. I mean, she's part of the tag team champions, so I think they can play into this a little bit, and where do they go from here could be a lot of fun. But I think it's just kind of the hand they were dealt right now.
Yeah, because as this was happening in the main event group chat, as this was popping off Friday night, without necessarily spoiling, just because we didn't know who was watching live and who wasn't, but I got to talk to Tuck about it, and if this wasn't part of writing her off of TV for a legitimate injury, this does add another layer of suspense and intrigue to the inevitable Bianca versus Jade story here. There's a lot to kind of unpack there just with this one segment alone, because it's would Bianca really do this to her own tag team partner? And if so, why? And all these questions that need answers that would really kind of keep this story going until WrestleMania season. We've seen a couple of instances of miscommunication from the two of them. They've been very sporadic over the last 3 to 4 months, and hats off to WWE's creative team for being very deliberate in when we see those moments. But yeah, no, well, a lot more questions than answers right now. But I really enjoyed that, because you don't necessarily see something like this in the women's division, as far as, yes, you see people being written off TV, but not in such a chaotic, violent manner.
Yeah. I mean, they would have to explain to me the why that Bianca feels like she needs to take Jade out of War Games. That one doesn't make.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a ton of sense, but hey, I'm here to watch and see how they play this out. So,
yeah, no, I can't wait, and hopefully find out a little bit more tonight. But the bigger story coming out of SmackDown is the Wise Man is back, and he did not come alone. He found a fifth man for War Games, and it is Pepsi Phil, the Second City Saint, CM Punk, making his War Games debut. That pop for the Wise Man. Long time coming. He looked great. He you could see it in his face. Like, he couldn't hide the excitement of like what was going to be coming up here. And CM Punk also gets the same reaction. I know that you're not crazy about the fact that this has now become more than just the bloodline inside War Games. But your thoughts on CM Punk joining the fray?
So much better than Seth Rollins. Oh, jeez. So much better than Seth Rollins. Hello, Hickey. Good to see you.
You've lost twice to him.
Hello.
Okay. You know what? All right.
Goodbye,
It's not worth it right now. But yeah, no, I know you're not crazy about this, and this is, it just is what it is. We just have to take it and move on, and it's going to be a fun match regardless. Like, it's going to be a great match, but
I'm good with it being Punk because at least, Kevin Owens has stuck to his guns. Cut a hell of a promo on Friday about how he's been battling the bloodline for 4 years. Seth Rollins, same thing. Been battling the bloodline for 4 years. Been battling Roman for God knows how long, 10 years at this point. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Hey, that's nice. I'm happy for
Hey,
you.
it just says he's watching our show, so yeah.
It is. And he is watching our show.
Yeah.
And, Punk comes in and doesn't have any history with this bloodline. Like he's a hired gun, just kind of like Bronson Reed is a hired gun who just happens to be feuding with Seth Rollins. That's going to piss Seth Rollins off a lot more because, all that. It's better. It's much better than Rollins because it makes more sense. Punk's a hired gun.
Yeah.
He's in it because Paul Heyman needed a favor. That relationship's there. I'm good with it. Yes, I wanted Bloodline v. Bloodline. I'm not going to get it. But if this is the alternative, I'm very happy. No, you Titans
still have not walked out with the Coastal Chaos Championship on the 2 separate occasions that you had the opportunity to, and you even softened him up before the match.
That's right. You kissed your sister twice. I'm happy for you. Good job.
Okay.
So did I.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I do like that because eventually Seth Rollins is going to have the same mindset as Kevin Owens, and that spiral of, you know what, you I don't want you here. You don't belong here. I don't like Roman Reigns, but for you, who I despise even more, to go team up with him is just going to make me crazy. And there's so many ways you can go with this, not even just, going into Vegas this year, but beyond, because, that final shot at the end of the show, we're seeing Reigns, we're seeing Punk, we're seeing Heyman right in the middle, and he's got that smirk. He ain't going to have that smirk for long. Eventually, he is going to have to choose between these two. And for all we know, that eventual decision, let's say that Punk or Heyman does align with Punk, could force a reunion of Rollins and Reigns down the line as well. So it does create some additional avenues for storytelling here that make me really excited.
There's a lot going on. If this is the alternative, this is probably the best alternative they could have given me. I'm happy it's not Cody. I'm happy it's not Rollins.
Fair. But it has been announced Cody will be defending the Universal Championship against Kevin Owens at Saturday night's main event. Got plenty of time to dissect that one as the weeks go on, but who knows? Maybe we'll see some chaos there.
Probably will. Hey, let's get into
Unlike
Full
the
Gear.
Coastal Chaos Championship that Hakeem doesn't have. Let's move it on to Full Gear. And 12 incredible matches here, and let's get into it, man. You got your results up, right?
I do.
Okay.
Anna Jay defeated Deonna Purrazzo. Match. Anna Jay looks like she's kind of leveling up there. A little bit in the rankings. But big one for Anna Jay. I don't know what's going on with Deonna and Taya, but nice match to open, I think, the card.
Yeah, no, I would agree completely. I did not get to watch this one live, but I did go back and watch it. And I'm really excited to see Anna Jay, taking the time leveling up. We know these cards get a little bit bloated, so anytime that you can just get some time to be in the building on pay-per-view, totally good with it. I would like to see Deonna back to where she was, when she debuted earlier this year. It seemed like she was really going to be in the mix for any championship that the women's division had available. So I don't know, as we look towards 2025, I hope that there is that redemption arc for her, because she's too damn talented to not consistently be in the title mix.
Yeah. Buddy Matthews defeated Dante Martin, Commander, and the Beast Mortis. Okay. I think just a match.
This was a fun. This was a fun match.
It was a fun match. But kind of a match to get some people on the card. And again, as the house is coming in, you want to have some high-flying action, and this is exactly what this was. So, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, buddy. And shout out, hello, Arrival Wrestling in the chat. Good to see y'all. We had an incredible Arrival event this past weekend. I believe it is streaming and available now. We will actually be talking to Braden Toon about this event next week. He was not able to make it tonight, but stay tuned for that next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you're giving them a follow on all of their socials as well. Next up, this is a match that had a lot of social media talking. I was not familiar with these gentlemen prior to this angle.
Really?
I was not, no.
I've been on TikTok for 2 weeks. I know about everything about these guys.
Yeah. Okay, good for you, bud.
You don't know about the Rizzler? Man, you're missing out. Look,
okay. Yeah.
Look, AEW did something smart here.
Yeah.
They got somebody with their 15 minutes of fame that's going right now, and they got him on their show. This guy, Big Boom, is a former wrestler. I guess he wrestled way back in the day. It also came out that he wrestled this match with a broken foot. So, hey, good for him.
It didn't sell it at all.
No. But look, this is something that got people talking about AEW. That's exactly what you want to do. Guys, Snooki was at WrestleMania. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, this is I'm totally okay with this. It was QT Marshall. What harm does this do?
Bob Barker karate chop Chris Jericho once.
Exactly. Like what harm does this do? It was a fun little match. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
If you can't have fun, what's the point?
And that's the thing is, I mean, there are different styles of wrestling for different entertainment needs in a given moment. And this fit the bill. This was not going to be a match of the year contender or anything like that. This wasn't going to be a wrestling clinic. This wasn't going to be a technical masterpiece or anything like that. Clocked in a little over 11 minutes. Like, no, this was a great way to get the crowd fired up. And again, people relevant to not to outside wrestling, but it also happened to work out that, hey, AJ's got a wrestling background that makes it easier to do matches like these. There didn't have to be the smoke and mirrors that we saw. Example, Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. They didn't need to do all of that because AJ is a worker. So this was exactly what it was supposed to be, and this was something that was done on the pre-show, so it didn't necessarily take up any of the main card time. That would have also opened them up to some criticism. But no, this was for what it was, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
If Sexy Red can twerk on NXT, Big Boom and the Rizzler and Big AJ can be on the pre-show of Full Gear. Relax.
Yep.
That's it. If you didn't like this, it was funny because man, I've just lost my train of thought. We follow now a ton of independent wrestlers on X, and
and Nick, I didn't know that either. Podcast that was definitely way more in than I was.
And like all the independent wrestlers were having fun with it. Like, the people that actually care about, like, not the smart fans, like what
the people that do this for a living.
We're having a good time. Just have fun with it. That's all this is. That's all wrestling's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, 4-way for the tag team championships. Championships.
Oh my God, is that Private Party? I just wanted to say it.
Private Party, Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. Your thoughts?
I really wanted to see the split. Just with I mean, they started it with the entrance and that breaking everything that we were used to seeing from Castor and Bowens. So it is a little disappointing that they didn't pull the trigger on that. I don't think that there was any reason to wait however long that they're going to wait to do this. I would hope that it's not. I mean, I would hope that it's this Wednesday and let's just rip the Band-Aid off because the tension has already been there. I just don't see why they wouldn't have. I'd love this match. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this. This was the defense the Private Party needed. This is their first defense. Outrunners getting their shine because they've been busting their ass all year and have found a way to get themselves organically over. This feels a lot like a Zack Ryder in 2011, sort of just organic internet popularity, and it's working for these guys. I enjoy everything that they do on social media. So it was really great to see them, get this chance, and fingers crossed that the Iron Savages are next year for the same sort of sort of push.
Yeah, great way to open.
Yeah.
Fun match. Again, like you said earlier, nothing to, it's not match of the year candidate by any means, but hey, this was a fun way to open your card, is to have a multi-man tag match with people flying everywhere. And
yeah,
God, I love Brody King.
It's just, yeah.
That's my takeaway. MJF defeated Roderick Strong by submission. This is the MJF that I know and love.
Yeah.
This is the MJF that I need in my life.
Yep.
This is the guy that I want to be world champion. Not what we got. This is it.
It's, I mean, again, that story was just kind of snake bit in a number of different ways.
He's not a face. He's not a face.
He can be. It's just they could have there's a lot they could have dialed back during a lot of that run. It was different from the babyface MJF coming back from the hiatus.
Yeah.
I think if we had a little bit more of that edge, that's something we could probably get behind on a consistent basis. But I think that the overly white meat, gosh darn it, G, like that was okay. All right.
I didn't say it.
Do we have to add that one to the list too?
If we're gonna talk about the ultimate white meat babyface, we have to say him. Come on.
No, let's Bob Backlund. Anyway,
take your vitamins and say your prayers.
Oh, the guy who was turned out does steroids.
Hey, good for Roddy to get on the card too.
Yeah, no, this is like
get some shine.
This is great. Again, this is why it's great to have more than one company as far as nationwide television deal broadcasting. This was WWE. Roddy's not getting a spot on this card, and he looked incredible. So I'm hoping that he will continue to be involved in the final chapter of this Adam Cole MJF feud, which it seems like is probably going to head towards World's End, and I'm kind of hoping that we're done with it once that hits. They limped their way into World's End last year with this story, and I think it's just time for this one to run its course and be done with it.
It's over. Yeah. On to the only women's match on the main card. That's right.
Damn, yeah.
That's right. It's still an issue, guys. It's still an issue. This was a really good match too. Probably Mercedes' best match in AEW.
This was her best AEW match. This is what everybody was expecting when she debuted.
Yes. So she defeats Kris Statlander, retains her TBS championship, but this is Sasha Banks. This is what we wanted. And
this is what Tony Khan paid for.
And do not discredit Kris Statlander.
No, absolutely not. No.
She's
and this is just, and I'm kind of watching this live, and I'm watching this with MJB, a couple of our friends that don't really have the full story kind of everything that happened in the build up to this match, or kind of how Mercedes got to AEW. But I mean, in that moment, it was just like this is what this was it. This was her best AEW match to date. It's a strong match of the year contender, in my humble opinion. This is
might have been another one on the card.
I mean, I know, but he gets his own fucking category. So let's it's yeah. Don't worry about it. But this is what I think. This is what everybody's been expecting, because I feel I don't necessarily want to say that it has been a letdown. Her AEW run, it's been underwhelming.
Oh yeah, it is.
I'll say underwhelming.
That would be a letdown.
Potato.
Okay. Holy shit, Jay White got a pay-per-view win. Are they going to do something with Jay White right here?
I mean, if the end of the night is any indication, I mean, Mox has several people after him, and Jay White happens to be one of them.
They're setting something up, aren't they? We're going to get some kind of multi-man match?
I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, it's not, because that's kind of what we've been saying on the WWE side of things is, we're not seeing enough of people wanting to vie for every single championship or making their claim known. It's just kind of static linear feud between one champion and one challenger. But we're seeing this in the tag team division where people are, climbing over themselves because they want the tag team titles. I mean, that's especially with your world championship. That's absolutely how it should be. And I mean, Jay White getting this win here, especially on pay-per-view, especially against a former world champion who last year had probably one of the greatest matches in company history. Mm-hmm. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all. Not at all. And hey, you know how I feel about Jay White.
No.
And Hangman's grown on me, and this was a good match. Jay White's a dude. And
you're just upset you can't grow that mustache, but I can't either.
I used to be able to. Not anymore. Not anymore, bud. Not anymore.
I believe it when I see it.
Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay. A little bit of a shocker that Kyle Fletcher won, but
you were shocked?
I mean, clean?
Yeah. I'm not shocked in the least. No, clean. Not at all. I'm not shocked at all. Right. Because they have been very selective of the. I mean, this is only Ospreay's third loss all year in AEW. Swerve, MJF, and now Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
Swerve needed that win to add some additional legitimacy to his championship run. We already know. I mean, Max is already in a tier of his own, and they were using this to elevate the international championship. Larger story to get him the win at Wembley. How many times have I said on our show, Kyle Fletcher is a future AEW World Champion?
A lot. Maybe more than you want Duke Hudson to turn heel at this point.
No. Let's not. Now, don't get ridiculous, okay? But no, this is exactly why. This is exactly why. I mean, this
is a beast. He's really
I mean, I know that we haven't put out any of our year-end awards polls or anything like that for everybody to vote on, but this of all the matches that Ospreay has had all year, this is I don't know. This is up there, 2 or 3 for me.
It's up there. It's up there for sure. It's not number 1 for me, but it's up there. This is a really, really good match. It's a really, really good match.
Match of the night event just ran way too long. Yeah, I mean,
that's a common
occurrence. I definitely, yeah, and I felt myself getting a little fatigued, as the night got a little long in the tooth. But yeah, it's the conditioning. I think is just WWE shows, 4 or 5 matches and kind of a shorter run time. Yeah, AEW, it's kind of a, get your Red Bulls and, get your beers. So but I think I would probably have the same thought if I'm in the building that I might be getting a little fatigued myself. So I get that for sure.
I mean, we got fatigued at a 3-hour Raw. So
yeah, we did.
But yeah, no, this is a great launching point for Kyle Fletcher. Yeah.
And I think he's in the Continental Classic.
I'd have to go look. I was going to say it seems like a good time to get him in that and maybe have him win that.
They did announce. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, they announced it last night, like 10:30. Like, why are you doing it at 10:30 Eastern? What are we doing here? But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is great. So.
Oh, here we go. All right. So, Okada, Kyle Fletcher, Daniel Garcia, Beast Mortos, Shelton Benjamin, Mark Briscoe, Darby Allin, Ricochet, Claudio, Brody, Ospreay, and Juice. So, the fact that Ospreay and Fletcher are in different leagues in the Continental Classic says to me that, we might get that rematch sooner than later. We'll see.
We might. Daniel Garcia defeated Jack Perry to put an end to his TNT Championship run that I would label as mid.
I can't disagree.
Dude, they have lost all momentum with Jack Perry.
They definitely have. And again, I love the scapegoat aspect. I've loved everything that they've tried to, and I said this on the Mixer last week is compared to what they tried when he first turned on Luchasaurus versus what we're seeing now as far as giving him some edge, taking him to Japan, throwing out the beard, hooking him up with the Elite. I just don't think that Elite story landed the way that they wanted it to. And I don't blame them for trying it whatsoever. Like it should have worked better than it actually did. I think there's a lot more they could have gotten out of Jack Perry for it. But I loved this match. Loved that sharpshooter at the end. That hook back just it was fucking great. Yeah.
So I saw an interesting take on Twitter.
Yeah.
That
and
Jack
then yeah,
Perry,
this is absolutely 1,000% true. Yeah.
Well,
facts.
One is a world champion, one is not. One is a world champion, one is not.
Okay. You know what?
Let me. Can I get to the take?
I'm not. Yeah, you have at it. Yeah.
Well, you're the one popping up comments.
Do you want me to not show the chats of people that are in our chats? We appreciate everybody that's watching tonight. They want to chime in and help. That's how we grow.
Here we go. I saw a take that the character for Jack Perry is working well, but they think his wrestling style as a heel is hurting him more than anything. Because he's slow, he's methodical, but that's not why people fell in love with Jack Perry. Because Jack Perry was fast, he was high flying. So I almost go at this point, do you flip him back? Not because he's a better character as a face, but he's a better wrestler as a face. Because I go back and watch that match. He is slow and plodding. Yeah. And that works for The Undertaker, but Jack Perry is what? How tall is Jack Perry? Jack Perry is 5'10", 5'10", and 180 pounds. Okay. That's not. That's not the wrestling style that I think he should have, especially not with, what we've seen from him. So maybe it is do you sacrifice that character just so he's exciting in the ring again? Because I think that's what ultimately hurt this TNT Championship run was he just none of his matches. What was your favorite title defense?
Can't say I have one.
Even his match against Danielson was, man, I love Danielson. He made Jack Perry look great, right? I think maybe you're sacrificing a style in the ring for Jack Perry for this scapegoat character, and it may be time to adjust.
Yeah, and that's not to say that this couldn't work, or certainly the presentation. It's not to say it couldn't work as a babyface, but yeah, no, that's I never would have thought about it in that way. About also the wrestling style adapting to the character presentation as well. And I still think that there is a way to salvage that. Well, I mean, there's going to be more questions and answers, especially until we see what happens on Dynamite on Wednesday. But with the Bucks taking an extended period of time off, Okada is going to be tied up with the Continental Classic. Now we are going to have to figure out what is Jack Perry going to do essentially by himself as kind of the lone member of the Elite who's on television without a championship.
We are. It'll be interesting to see. Takeshita defeats Ricochet to retain the International Championship.
No surprise there. This is
that bad?
This is what?
Is that bad that this is not a surprise? That we knew this was going to happen?
A little bit, but I don't know. This is what we've been hoping for out of Takeshita for the last year. We're finally getting this, and it does suck that it is at the expense of
Ricochet, who
I get it.
We all wanted to be free, but kind of in the same spot.
Yeah.
Is he in the Continental Classic? Did you say
he is in the Continental Classic? Yes.
Okay, so look, he's going to have some really good matches. That might be Ricochet's ceiling. I was hoping that he was going to come over here and start main eventing. I think I said it when he signed. I don't see that. He's going to come over here and have some really, really good matches, and that's probably what he wants to do. That's probably his ceiling in AEW.
I still think that he has a better shot of becoming AEW World Champion than he ever did of taking either world title in WWE.
Well, sure, yeah, but I mean, slim to none is not that big of a difference.
I wouldn't say not quite slim to none, but Nick says wasted match, classic overbooking, extra matches to get everyone on the card. I mean, at this point, that's just something that we just know that AEW is going to do. And that's why, because both companies present their pay-per-views in different ways, and have the, Triple H, fewer matches and much more emphasis on the stories that they're telling, as opposed to AEW, where it's get everybody on the card. I like that each company has a different approach, and I like what AEW is doing with this. They've conditioned us at this point that this is how their shows are going to go. So I just come to expect that, I'm going to be in it for 10, 11, 12 matches on a given night. Super rough to do on a Sunday night, but once a Saturday night, I have no problem with it, and yeah, just
real quick, let's talk about the Mariah May segment.
This didn't need to be on this. This accomplished nothing. This accomplished nothing on pay-per-view. You could have saved this for Wednesday and it'd been the same result.
Okay, all right, we'll go on to the next match.
Your thoughts?
Your thoughts? I like the segment, but sure, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't need it on the pay-per-view. Sure.
No.
Could have had her have a title defense.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, only one women's match on the entire main card.
Bobby Lashley defeats Swerve Strickland by technical submission.
They protected Swerve, yeah. They did protect Swerve by having him pass out. I don't know. It's really, really soon to put these two together, just because of, we know the star power of Bobby Lashley, but we also know the star power of Swerve Strickland.
Okay.
That might be the only knock that I have about this, is that probably happened a little too soon, but love the match. I mean, we know Swerve is, doing the best work of his career right now, and has been basically since last year's Full Gear. So, to come in and give some of that shine to Bobby, who, while yes, is a large name, it's a new company and
yes,
a new style of audience that may not be familiar with his work. So
when you bring him in and you make him a killer, like dude just beat Swerve. Like that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And I'm okay with it. Swerve will get his win back. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Bobby at the press conference.
I did not see the entire segment. I did not. I heard some tidbits of things, but
no. Shout out to Lashley. Like let's normalize just champion. Doesn't have to be black champion. Yeah. Just normalize champion. It's 2024. Yeah. What are we doing? Like, why is this still a thing?
Yeah.
And that's coming from the white guy. Like it's 2024. Let's relax.
No, I know.
And again, Bobby handled it with a ton of class and did well with it. Whether that was a partly in character, I don't think it was, but
No, that's somebody that's tired of getting asked the question, because I mean, it's not, and it's unfortunate, but it's just never something you really escape. And that's entirely fucked. Yeah. Thing is, I think society has a lot of way to go in order to help us to, but
John Moxley.
It's conversation another time.
It is. John Moxley defeated Orange Cassidy. Dude, John Moxley's heel character might be the best heel character since 2009 Randy Orton. This sadistic, don't care, I'm going to do whatever I want, and just kind of, dude, he's psychotic.
I know, but we're also saying this, having seen within the last 12 months Swerve Strickland break into Hangman Page's house and stand over Hangman's newborn baby.
Totally different character.
But we're just saying, as far as best heel, staticism, I guess, if that's the word to match with here.
I don't know, man. John Moxley put a paper
Hangman
bag.
burned down Swerve's childhood home and then sat in front of it drinking bourbon.
He did. Did you see Moxley scratch Orange Cassidy's back?
Yes, I saw.
With and then no feeling, no feeling afterwards. That's the thing. Is Moxley does all this, has no feeling. Like he's like dead inside. I love this John Moxley character. This is a John Moxley that I have wanted to see for such a long time, and I love it. And he's right now, I think he's the perfect champion, because I'm afraid it's going to be Darby Allin, but I hope it's not. Again, I don't hate Darby Allin. I just don't know if he's a world champion.
I know, but okay, that's a strong adjective to use. I'm afraid.
Yeah, because I don't think he's a world champion.
Maybe not he's not gonna have a 416 reign or anything like that. But I wouldn't rule out a transitional.
I guess
a transitional run. That's just
in my eyes. I don't like when you look at the names who have been AEW champion. I feel like he would just stick out. That's just me. That's just me.
Sure.
Everybody's entitled to their opinions. Listen to that.
Yeah,
Listen
of course.
to what I'm saying. Not you. I'm just pointing to the audience. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. I don't think Darby Allin would be a good champion. That's me. I could be wrong. He could win the champion and have a great reign, and I look like an idiot. I love what he does because he puts his body on the line and he does not care. And I think he's a great spectacle. I don't know if he's a great champion.
But aren't champions supposed to have spectacle as part of their overall aura?
Look at the list of AEW champions and tell me he would not stick out.
Sticking out doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
I think it would be a bad thing.
Okay.
I think you look at that list and you go, Darby Allin, and get confused.
All right.
Yeah, just me. Just me.
Yeah, that's okay. End of the night, we did see a number of people that were attempting to stake their claim at that title. We saw Christian Cage attempt to cash in his contract. I know how you feel about it. I know.
I hate the thing that you have to sign it. That's kind of dumb. Like, why wouldn't you pre-sign it? If you know you're going to go out there and cash it in, wouldn't you pre-sign it? Like, why you got to run out there with a pen to sign it?
I don't know. It's Logic. A way of making it their own, I guess.
Logic.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yes, go ahead. Christian came out. Hangman.
Christian Cage, Hangman, Jay White, and then we see Darby Allin just smash Moxley's car.
Yeah.
Busted his face up in the process. I mean, and like we said earlier, I like this. There should be multiple people going after the champion, and it should be up to them to sort out, okay, who's going to be first in line if it's not going to be a multi-person match.
I'd love for them to do like a multi-person match. Like, do like a chamber or something. Like, make something AEW. Like, I don't know what it would be. Like, we've only seen one, like Armageddon Hell in a Cell. Like, maybe something like that. Like, but
no.
Do something like that. Like, where it's a multi-man, like, gimmick match where you could have those every year and kind of World's End. Yeah. Hell in a Cell or something along those lines, right? Like, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I got a comment here. I know this is probably not going to happen, but we cool Brock Lesnar showed up at the end of War Games, kind of like how Punk did last year.
Wouldn't run it off.
Yeah, I will. I mean, we still don't know what's going on with
the Rock's
the legal side of. Yeah, there will be some major surprise. I just, I'm not holding my breath for Brock Lesnar to show back up anytime soon because there is still very real world litigation taking place that I don't think the TKO wants to create any controversy or ill will, especially when they're printing as much money as they are right now. Yeah, and quite frankly, WWE doesn't need Brock Lesnar right now.
They don't. And like I think you said it. Good, I think you said it. Like, you hit the nail on the head. Like, goodwill. They have a lot of goodwill right now.
Yeah,
bringing him back probably is not what you need.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of other stories that are going to take precedence over this. I mean, we might, even though we can't. So Rock can't show up because he's doing live action Moana. I mean, yeah, he is filming that right now. I still wouldn't rule out, much like we saw at Bad Blood, held the belt, stood at the top of the ramp for 7 seconds.
I say The Rock can jump off a helicopter for 2 minutes.
Yeah, like that I think is a lot more likely than any extended involvement or any physicality or anything like that, just because that's an easy in out to the building right then and there, and then you're right back on to filming. So I mean, as far as Survivor Series goes, I think that they're conditioning us to have some surprises or some fun spots, especially in the women's division. I'm hoping we see a couple of names pop up.
And dude's on the board of directors. Like, I think if he's like, "Hey, I got to go do this," they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, especially if it's something that doesn't require any physicality and then doesn't affect
I don't think it does.
insurance contracts. Like, yeah, no, because again, we saw him show up at Bad Blood. We saw him essentially, he gave the gesture to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. We still don't know who it was to. With this being a bloodline heavy story at War Games, I think his presence will be felt, but without it getting physical because of the movie shooting schedule. But podcast Dad, I think we've been at this for about 45 minutes, and I need some dinner. So, any final thoughts on Full Gear, SmackDown, anything on Raw tonight that catch your eye?
No, Full Gear was fun. It's an AEW pay-per-view. It's always fun.
Yeah.
I like the field for the Continental Classic this year a little bit more than I did last year. And now that I understand the rules a little bit more, I think it's going to be it made for some good television last year. And I think it's going to make for some really, really good television this year in a time where I think they need some good television. So I'm hesitant, and I wouldn't say hesitant, cautiously optimistic for this Continental Classic.
Well said. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah, loved last year, and really hoping eventually that they will give this to the women's division as something else for them to sink their teeth into as well. So fingers crossed on that. But that is going to do it for us tonight. We've got a bit of a jam-packed show tomorrow. We will be joined by JPJ and Pluggo of Between Two Beards. It's been a while since we have gotten a chance to catch up with those studs, but they're going to be joining us tomorrow night as we give our official predictions for Survivor Series War Games. And upcoming on Wednesday, Chris Martin from Pro Wrestling Insurance is going to be coming by. It's open enrollment season, so if you're a wrestler and again, this is a way to get some insurance to protect yourselves and protect your bodies for all the hard work that you do. So you might want to tune into that show and get some more information. We will also be covering Coastal Empire Wrestling's Still Standing event and Last Man Standing. So Hakeem, if you are still in the chats, and odds are you're not, open invitation to hop onto the show. I know the podcast dad isn't always happy about that, but he's got some shit to say. You might as well say it to our faces.
He won't.
No, never does.
He won't.
But I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the podcast, Dad. I'm Mr. Cincinnati. Follow us at Junkies Pod. Like, share, subscribe. All it takes is one person. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm not even going to let that get me down as I'm trying to do the plugs here. But that's going to do it for us. Podcast Dad, Mr. Cincinnati, Wrestling Junkies Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.